Just imagine for a few seconds, you're holding a small coin in your hand. It looks completely ordinary. Nothing special at all. But what if I told you that this tiny piece of metal could be worth enough to buy a luxury house, a sports car, and even secure your entire future? This isn't fantasy. This could be reality. The 2006 South African 1 Rand and 2 Rand coins, something most people treat as loose change, can actually be worth millions of dollars to collectors. The real question is, could you already have one without even knowing it? South Africa's Rand coin system is known around the world for its unique history and design. The 1 Rand coin usually has a simple silver appearance with national symbols and wildlife featured on it, while the 2 Rand coin stands out with its heavier, dual-tone design. At first glance, they seem like everyday coins, but the story behind certain 2006 editions makes them incredibly special. Some of these coins were produced with rare minting errors or released in limited quantities, and that's where their true value begins to rise. Coin collecting, also known as numismatics, is a world where even the smallest object can turn into a massive fortune. The 2006 Rand coins are a perfect example of this. Certain coins from that year have been found with slight misprints, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions. To an average person, these might look like defects, but to collectors, they are treasures. These rare pieces often end up in auctions, where bidding can start in the thousands and climb all the way into the millions of dollars. Now picture this. It's a normal day, and you empty your pockets, tossing coins onto a table. Among them could be one rare coin worth close to $1 million. This isn't just imagination. There have been real cases where people discovered valuable coins hidden in their homes. Some 2006 South African 2 Rand coins, especially those with unique mint marks or design variations, fall into this rare category. Here's the twist. Not every 2006 coin is valuable. Only those in excellent condition with minimal wear, or those that carry a unique feature, hold high value. That means if you happen to own a 2006 1 Rand or 2 Rand coin, it's important to inspect it carefully. Experts examine the edges, texture, shine, and fine design details. Even the smallest unusual feature can send the coin's value skyrocketing. Imagine another scenario. Someone is cleaning out an old drawer at home and comes across a forgotten coin. To them, it's just a memory. But after a bit of research or showing it to an expert, they realize it belongs to a rare category. Suddenly, something ordinary becomes extraordinary. That's the magic of coin collecting. Another factor behind the value of 2006 Rand coins is their historical context. During that time, changes in minting policies and economic conditions in South Africa led to certain batches being produced in limited numbers. This combination of low supply and high demand is exactly what collectors look for. Rare and uncommon coins are always in demand, and some of these 2006 coins fit that description perfectly. But perhaps the most important factor is awareness. Many people have no idea about the true value of the coins they own. They spend them in daily transactions or simply ignore them. It's possible you may have already used a rare coin without realizing it. That's why it's so important to take a closer look at any old or unusual coin you come across. Do some research, and, if possible, consult an expert. Now here's something truly fascinating that will surprise you. Some collectors don't just pay for the coin itself. They pay for the story behind it. If a coin is linked to a special event, a limited batch, or carries a unique background, its emotional and historical value can push its price even higher. It's no longer just a piece of metal. It becomes a story, a legacy. And this is the secret very few people understand. The real value of a coin isn't just in its design or rarity, but in the connection it creates with people. That's why some 2006 1 Rand and 2 Rand coins have sold at unbelievable prices in auctions. Buyers aren't just investing in metal, they're investing in history and meaning. So the next time you look at the coins in your pocket or wallet, don't treat them as simple loose change. One of them might have the potential to change your life. There could be a coin sitting somewhere in your home right now worth millions, and you don't even know it yet. All it takes is one careful look, a bit of research, and a small step to turn an ordinary moment into an extraordinary discovery. But here's where things get even more interesting. What if I told you that most people who actually discover valuable coins almost miss them the first time? They look at the coin, feel it, maybe even use it, and then later realize they were holding something extraordinary. That moment of realization, that shock, is what makes this world so addictive. Think about it, coins travel through hundreds, sometimes thousands of hands. They pass through markets, shops, buses, and homes. Every scratch, every mark, every tiny detail adds to their journey. And sometimes, hidden within that journey, is a rare variation that only a trained eye or a lucky moment can catch. The 2006 South African 1 Rand and 2 Rand coins are no exception. Among millions of ordinary pieces, a few rare ones are silently circulating, waiting to be discovered. Now imagine you start checking your own coins more carefully. First, it feels pointless. But then you notice something slightly different. Maybe the alignment looks off, maybe the edge feels unusual, or the design appears a bit sharper or faded in a strange way. That tiny doubt, that curiosity, is exactly how discoveries begin. Because in the world of coin collecting, the smallest difference can mean the biggest value. And here's something that will keep you hooked. Sometimes, two coins can look almost identical, but one could be worth just a few cents, while the other could be worth thousands or even millions. The difference? A tiny minting error, a rare batch, or even the condition of the coin. This is why collectors spend years studying coins, learning to spot details that most people would never notice. But wait, there's an even deeper layer to this. Some collectors believe that coins carry history in a way no other object does. Think about it. This small piece of metal could have existed during important moments, passed through different cities, maybe even been held by people with incredible stories. That invisible history adds a kind of mystery, and that mystery adds value. Now picture this scenario: you find a 2006 coin, you get it checked, and it turns out to be rare. Your heart starts racing. Suddenly, something you ignored your whole life becomes the center of attention. You start researching, learning, diving deeper into the world of coins. And before you know it, you're not just someone who found a coin. You've become part of a global community of collectors, hunters, and history lovers. And here's the part that most people don't expect. Once you start, it's hard to stop. Every coin becomes a possibility. Every pocket, every drawer, every old box becomes a treasure hunt. You begin to see value where others see nothing. And that shift in perspective, that's powerful. But let me leave you with one final thought. What if, right now, somewhere very close to you, there's a coin lying unnoticed? Maybe in your home, maybe in a relative's house, maybe even in your own wallet? And that coin has the potential to completely change your life? The only thing standing between you and that discovery is awareness. So don't just watch this and move on. Take action. Go check your coins. Look closely. Stay curious. Because sometimes the biggest opportunities in life don't come in obvious forms. They come disguised as something small, simple, and easily ignored, just like a coin. And now let's bring it back to something very specific. The 1 Rand and 2 Rand coins themselves. Because not all coins are created equal, and if you really want to find something valuable, you need to know exactly what to look for. When it comes to the 1 Rand coin, most people ignore it completely. It's small, simple, and very common in circulation. But here's what makes certain 2006 versions special: small variations. Sometimes the lettering may appear slightly different, the edges might not be perfectly aligned, or the surface may have a unique texture. These are the tiny signs that separate an ordinary coin from a rare one. And the surprising part is, many of these differences are so subtle that only a careful eye can spot them. Now the 2 Rand coin. This is where things get even more interesting. Its bimetallic design already makes it stand out. But in 2006, a few rare pieces were reported with unusual minting characteristics. Some had slight shifts between the inner and outer ring, while others showed inconsistencies in color or alignment. To an average person, it might look like a damaged coin, but to a collector, it could mean serious value. Here's something you need to understand. Collectors don't just look at the coin, they study it. They check the year, the shine, the weight, the edges, and even how the design sits on the surface. A perfectly centered design is normal, but an off-center one? That could be rare. A smooth finish is expected, but a strange texture? That could be unique. It's these small mistakes that can turn a simple 1 rand or 2 rand coin into something worth thousands, or even millions. And here's the part that will really surprise you. Sometimes the value isn't discovered immediately. A coin might sit unnoticed for years before someone finally realizes what it is. That means even today, there could be 2006 1 rand and 2 rand coins out there, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize them.